Celebrities' lives may seem glamorous on the outside, but often there is a secret past lurking beneath the surface. Here are 10 celebrities who were raised in cults. WINONA RYDER. When WINONA RYDER was 7 years old, her family joined the Rainbow Family Commune in California. They moved onto a 300-acre plot of land with no electricity, becoming completely self-sufficient. Because of this, WINONA depended on books and her own imagination for entertainment. The Rainbow Commune was founded on principles of nonviolence and egalitarianism, and groups came together several times a year to pray and meditate. WINONA saw a few movies at the commune barn, decided to become an actress, and the rest is history. Christopher Owens. Musician Christopher Owens, best known as frontman of the indie rock band Girls, was raised in the Children of God, a cult founded by a former Baptist minister named David Berg. The group believed that sex was one of God's greatest gifts, and they therefore encouraged their members to have a lot of it, regardless of age or marital status. The group also rejected modern medicine, and Christopher lost a brother to pneumonia due to lack of medical treatment. When asked about his experience, he likened it to being raised in the Taliban, being told to reject everything about the modern world and America because it was bad and evil. Emily SCHROMM. Famous for her time on MTV reality show The Real World DC, Emily SCHROMM grew up in a fundamentalist Christian group who executed extreme control over its members to the point where they were not allowed to have a personal identity. SCHROMM left the group at the age of 14 and from then on made it her mission to do activities that the group forbade, like rock climbing and playing football. Rose McGowan. Like Christopher Owens, actress Rose McGowan was raised in the Children of God. Even when she was younger, she was uncomfortable with how women in the group were treated like sex slaves. She shared her experiences in an interview and said, "At a very early age, I decided I did not want to be like those women. They were basically there to serve the men sexually." She finally left after her father was asked to draw a cartoon for the cult that encouraged sexual relations between children and adults. Glenn Close. From age 7 to 22, actress Glenn Close was part of a religious group known as the Moral Rearmament, which originally began as an anti-war movement in 1938. While the group's core values included honesty, purity, unselfishness, and love, it was a way for the MRA to eventually obtain complete control over its members. Close recounted her experiences. You basically weren't allowed to do anything, or you were made to feel guilty about any unnatural desire. The Arquette children. Hollywood siblings David, Patricia, Rosanna Arquette, and their family lived on the Skymont-Subud commune in Virginia, a hippie commune that revolved around the idea of getting spiritual direction from the great life force. However, the Arquettes lived in a commune that had no running water, no electricity, and no bathrooms. They lived in complete isolation from the rest of the world and left when David was 4. Toni Braxton. Toni Braxton was raised in a religious cult called Pillar of Truth, which upheld conservative views and religious extremism. The church also encouraged the speaking of tongues from their members, as it was evidence that they were ready to go to heaven. So Toni would pretend to speak in tongues in order to gain acceptance. Her family's involvement in the church also wounded her faith. "I began connecting religion, God, and church with judgment, anxiety, and guilt. The ties that bound us together became the ties that strangled us. Our family had fallen into religious extremism." Angel HAZE. We know Angel HAZE today as an acclaimed rapper and singer, but her upbringing was far from glamorous. She was raised in the Pentecostal Greater Apostolic Faith Commune, where all the members lived in the same community within 10 minutes of each other. She wasn't allowed to date, listen to music, eat certain foods, or talk to any outsiders. Even jewelry wasn't allowed to be worn. Luckily, Angel and her family escaped the commune when she was 16. Lisa Marie Presley. The daughter of the king, Lisa Marie Presley, was raised by her mother in the Church of Scientology and stayed there until she left for good in 2012. Presley became very open about her departure from the church and said that her experience was so traumatic that she was self-destructing. She was fed up living in the church's bubble and their efforts to control her life. When she reached out for help within the church, she was insulted and given bad advice by people she calls crazy and criminal. Joaquin Phoenix. In the 1970s, Joaquin Phoenix's family was involved with the Children of God cult, even traveling around South America with the group. However, because the cult was overly encouraging of sexual relations between different spouses and even children, Joaquin's parents left and changed their last name to Phoenix to symbolize a new chapter in their lives. The actor doesn't blame his parents for their involvement with Children of God and said that he thinks his parents were just trying to do what they thought was best for the family. We hope you enjoyed this video. Please take a second to subscribe to The Richest for more incredible content daily. Thank you for watching.